I think I'm going to warm up on blister slab here whilst the sun's on it. And then I might head up to try that traverse back there again. I have this time brought with me my original chalk bag. Fairly certain it's still got chalk in there. Yeah, this should be a nice day. It's very dry up here. The wind would have helped with that, but I don't think it reached the dew point last night because there's no condensation anywhere on the van or the grass. So let's get and do a little bit here. That's one. Let's see what we've got over here. This all seems a bit trickier. I'm not actually following anything from the guidebook here, at least not intentionally, as I've done most of these. I am just trying to get a bit of blood flow at the minute. This one is a little bit of a puzzler though. There we go. It's a lot less of a puzzler when you don't try and stand in the wrong bit. There we go. Back down at the van, I was in two minds whether to come climbing or pick up the camera and go do some photography somewhere. I am glad I chose this though. I need this more than the photography at the minute, and that wind is picking back up. So we'll try not to lose this one. I may walk along the top later and see if I can find the other one that I lost. I know roughly where it should be, although there's been wind since then. Alright, done one, done two. Let's move along this way. Nice. I've just gone up that way, haven't I? Let's try and get up here then. I want to try and high left into that if I can. Okay. Nope, not like that. Foot pop. Gritstone hurts. There we go. Okay, I think I'm done for this little section, so let's move on. I've decided to come to the upper tier. Going to, once again, attempt this one here, starting on these jugs. I'm pretty sure that one's not in. Staying on the low line, coming down under. This bit I can do. This bit I was on last year and should be able to do. And then it's coming through here, into the side pools here and up to the top. That's a 7A V6 called Nadin Traverse. So that's what I'll be working on next. Of course, I have ended up on the block that is in the shade. Never mind, there's plenty of sunny patches around here. If I do decide I would like to warm up a bit. And there we've got a view of Hen Cloud. Still a little bit in the mist. And this corner here is Joseret, which I did last summer. It's nice up here, not as windy as I expected. It's no longer a cold wind. Now the sun's out a bit, it's warmed up a bit, so that's improvement on conditions. Right, I'm going to play on this one for a little bit, just to get a feel for it again, and then I'll pick you back up once I'm ready to try and make some progress. So I shall leave you with the view. Alright, I think I made a little bit of progress here. Let's see if I can just repeat it for the camera. That wasn't it. That was. Right. What I need to do now is figure out how to drop this left hand. And the left foot. Yeah, take that as a backdrop, match it. That works, that's a nice hold. I get my foot down there where it needs to be. The one thing with this is it's a lot of body tension to let go of. Oh. Didn't stay on long, did it? It's that sun coming back out a little bit. I don't like that foot swap. It feels a bit scrunched up and off balance, so I want to try and figure something out with that. Let me give you a view of these holes that I'm working with. Yep, right. Yeah, not bad. So starting with a couple of decent jugs. Into here, that's not too bad. Feet are starting on this little bit here. coming up to this ledge. And then from here, I'm doing right hand up into the top there, the left hand underneath to lean back, which lets me come down this way into this. What I'm pretty sure I used to do is thumb press into that to come down. But I think the way I'm doing it now is probably better. I need to go from there on the left hand, either drop into this, which isn't great. I mean, it's size-wise it's okay, but it slopes. It's not a flat edge. Or into this, which is a bit of a crimp. So that's a smaller hold, but it's more positive than that. And then once you're dealing with this section, God knows about the footwork. That's when I'll figure out, but you got this and this. And you're going up into this rail here. This is the only really good part of it, that's positive. This isn't too bad, I managed to catch that. Whichever day it was, I was up here this week. Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. God, how is it? This week's gone too fast. And then from there, you're going into the side poles here, and here, and to the top. So it's a nice set of moves. I say probably consistently difficult throughout, with the exception of these jugs at the start. But I think this might end up being my see, I've been down there too long, my Roaches project for a little bit. The other thing is, since we're now moving into autumn, it's going to get colder, which means there'll be more friction up on the Gritstone. So that could potentially make this easier a little bit. Or at least, maybe not the moves, but grip-wise. And finally, some flat land where my larger tripod can stand. I am going to put my shoes on the base though, because you look a bit wobbly. These are not my big walking boots, that's not going to work. Put my climbing bag there. See if that stabilises you some. Oh. No, you're off this diddy little thing. Also, note to self, next time, bring a flask of tea up with you. Or coffee, or get some hot chocolate in at last. I mean, it's not too bad today, but the way the weather's going to turn, temperature-wise, we are getting to the point where I'm now going to have to start thinking about provisioning the van and my trips up here for colder season. There's very little point me doing this from the start again, so I'll pick it up from here. Oh, yes. Okay. Not what I was expecting or quite intending, but two things here. One, this side pull right at the bottom, very positive, almost a crimp. Two, coming down into this, massive drop knee. That keeps it stable. I can work with that then. Awesome. Yeah. I like it when things work out like that. There is a guy who I suspect is from one of the vans down below and is a climber who's got an actual cup of tea up here with him. Just walked down that way and then just walked past back, so I'm guessing he's checking out the crag for conditions. Okay, cool. This wind's picking back up. So it was that. Of that. Drop me down into that. Then what? Indeed, that is the question. Then what? See, there's two holes on this part here. They're both positive, but this one's the best. It's a crimp going jug, whereas this one's flat, almost sloper-like. But coming from that section, I'm getting onto this flatter part. The question is, do I try a crossover or under to then go out this way? Or do I try to bump the hand, which I don't want to do once I'm pressed in like this, because there's a lot of weight distribution in this hand already. In which case, do I drop from that to that, that to that? Or when I do come across with my right hand, do I try to go for this further one? Which will then let me, hopefully, come down into the left hand on here. Choices. You know, I said the wind is warmed up. Now the sun's gone again. Guess what it's done? Okay. I think I'm going to have to do that bit again. So if we pull on here, then it's that. Try and bump that further right. No, that doesn't feel as good. Why doesn't that feel as good? Let me think. Elbow flare, I think, is the issue with that. So when I grab this one, because I can get it on top, I can keep my palm tucked in and my elbow in. But if I go for this one, because the grip's more up there, that brings the wrist out and the elbow out, and then all of the body weight is going through that. That's not as strong as being tucked in. So I'm not sure that bump is going to work at that bit, although it's going to have to bump at some point. But oh well. I'll try not to risk injury because that would be annoying. Let's see then. Let's try and give you a bit of a different perspective on this. I also don't know how many goes I'm going to get on this today, because I'm not at all conditioned for gritstone and it burns through the tips of the skin pretty fast. You're wobbling again. You'll be all right. Right. Back on we go. Into that. And that. Down to you. Oh, I wonder if I can... No. Oh, I lost it a bit. I wonder if I can backstep my foot down into that actually. That might save me the drop knee. Let's have another quick attempt at that. Then I'm going to need to rest up for a bit. No, I need to rest a bit. I'm just going to have a few more goes trying to work this section here. Because if I can get that this time, I think I'll be okay to work the end next time. It's just a question of deciding what beta I want to use here. Because I think the drop knee or the back step are both viable. I think you can actually see the little chalk mark there. That's where I'm aiming for with my foot. Someone shift these clouds and bring the sun back, would you? It's gone cool again. Right. Yes. That's killing my balance, isn't it? If I'm on there like that, I need to somehow... I still need to figure out then how to drop the left hand. If I do it as a back step. Which was that. Catching into that's not great since it's not positive. Catching into this is going to be desperate since it's so small. I can feel my fingertips starting to burn. As if I come like that for the drop knee variation. That's still a pain to catch into. Oh. Lost me cover again. And again, it's gone. Oh well. Oh. I think I'm done on this one for today. I'm starting to get a couple of small holes in my fingertips, but I'm losing my ability to hold this now, so there's no point carrying on and just damage my skin more. However, that was a good go on this. I like this. Definitely coming back to it. Right, I'm going to have a quick walk around, see if there's anything else I want to try before I pack up. Before I do go, last summer I threw up a climb on this section here. I just looked back at it on Instagram and it started from up here, and I think on the left hand here. I just want to see if I can figure out a lower start for it now. So what was I starting? I think it was, yeah, it was like that and up. So let's see if I can establish a lower start. Although the condition my fingers are in at the minute, perhaps not. Oh, this could be, this could end up being a nasty sit start. You know, those things that I hate. Started on that, went out to that, and then it was out to the side there. Right. Oh, skin. Yeah, not today. Ow. Yeah, not throwing that up today then, but that's definitely something to come back to. Make a harder variation of my climb. Right, for today then, that's going to be it for this session. My skin's going sore, my fingertips are a bit reddish, and I need to break them in gently over the next few weeks into Gritstone. But I've got a nice 7A that I can play on, that I like. A nice area with a decent view, even if it is misty. The only thing about this one is the walking. That's a cardio killer, that is. Oh well, at least I've got a winter of stuff up here to look forward to. So I shall leave you with that. Hope that you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't. There should be more and more climbing content coming now. I'm getting back into it a bit. And leave a comment. If you've got any climbing projects, if you've got anything up the Roaches you're working on, or your local crags, any tips for winter climbing, that too. So thanks for watching, and whatever you're doing, have a good one. This is really hurting my fingers. Quite sharp on the skin. But since I was passing back down this way, I figured I might as well give this a go. Ow, wrist popping. Jesus Christ. Oh, I can barely feel my fingers now. They are sore and cold. Man, that was quite ugly. I think that's the end. Oh. Vindication. And with that, that really is the end for this one. Thanks for watching. Please come back. Oh. Oh. And I shall leave you with this view instead.